Greetings, Internet.
Hello.
Hello.
Lady B's back.
Lady B is back.
After a year's silence.
Because Game of Thrones turns her on.
Apparently, yes.
Okay, guys, we don't really have to go into detail about this.
No. We do have to go into detail about this.
The worldwide internet does not need to know about what makes me happy.
What makes your lady and your girlhood quiver?
Quiver is such an odd word.
I'm Friar Dan.
I'm that guy Todd.
And I'm Lady B.
It's a podcast of Doom Spoilercast for Game of Thrones Season 5, Episode 2.
The House of White and Black.
The House of White and Black. Not to be confused with Michael Jackson. Black or white.
How could you confuse anything on this show with Michael Jackson?
I have no idea.
He sang a song about black
Being
and white.
black or white, yeah.
He also was black and white.
My references make sense. Fuck you, Todd.
Although the statue in Braavos was not Michael Jackson.
No.
Oh, we should have checked to see if it kind of looked like it.
It did not.
It does not.
It does not look like Michael Jackson.
No, it looks like generic guy with a helmet.
They also didn't do a peek of panty.
Nope.
No peek of panties.
They never do the panty shot when they're going under the Titan.
I feel like they should, in all like medieval based things, they should just do like, what's under there?
Although, using my book knowledge, I know that in fact what is actually between the legs is a hole that they pour burning pitch out of on other ships.
Nice.
If they're trying to get in the city.
That's
So
awesome.
it basically takes flaming shits on boats.
That's awesome.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Once again, Braavos is the best place ever.
Well, if you can't tell, Braavos was in this episode.
Arya's in this episode.
Yes.
Arya was in Braavos.
Yes.
In this episode.
With Jack and Hagar.
Yeah. She went to the House of White and Black, which is like this giant ass building on this island by itself, with one white door and one black door.
It looks badass as fuck.
Yeah, it's a bit on the nose. I mean, which one do you go in? What does it mean if you go in one door and not the other?
Yeah, she only knocked on the black one. I wonder what would have happened if she knocked on the white door, if it would have had different results for her.
Right.
Maybe your white guy would have answered the door.
Right, maybe it would have been Jaqen. I mean, Jaqen didn't answer the door.
Yeah, but he was in disguise.
Right.
He was in disguise.
Maybe he wouldn't have been in disguise if the white door had been open.
If you knock on the black door, or if you knock on the white door, Cersei Lannister answers.
Oh my god. It's time for my revenge! Hail, Needle!
She opens the door and she's like, fuck you! And then closes it.
But yeah, so Arya's made it now.
Yeah. Yeah, so the episode basically, she got there, they wouldn't let her in, so she kind of sat on the doorstep for a while, looking like a sad cat in the rain.
Pretty much, just repeating her list over and over and over again.
Her 4-name list is down to 4 names,
It's down to
because
4.
people just keep dying on this show.
She's badass as fuck.
She hasn't killed, any of them, though. I mean, they just keep dying.
She killed a couple that weren't even on her
Tywin
list.
was on the list.
Right.
And the Hound was on the list.
Well,
so, I mean, they're
the
just...
Hound did kind of die because of her.
Well, she didn't help him.
It's true.
So
did he really die? Like, I still want to hold out faith that he did die. That somehow
she left him to die. We don't know if he's actually dead.
Right. Which
But
he could not be dead.
Yeah, she left him for dead. So as far as she's concerned, he's off the list.
Right.
So the list is dwindling, but she gets sick of that shit after a while, and then she takes her coin, chucks it in the canal because she's angry, and storms off to kill some pigeons. Some guy's trying to steal the pigeons. And she's like gonna get ready to get all needle stabby on them. And then the dude shows up again, the guy from the house.
But he was like, dude, this guy's face was like super epic as fuck because I cuss a lot, I'm sorry. Yeah, but he had like super big lips and like it looked like his face wasn't really a face, but it was it was
the
resting bitch face.
Was very intriguing.
Yeah. Exactly.
He looked like one of those guys that just kind of he sees through you the instant you look at him.
Yeah.
And he doesn't want any of your bullshit, and he's just going to stare at you and just stare at you until you're so uncomfortable you go away on your own.
Pretty much, yeah. That's
I would
exactly...
hide under a rock. I don't like being stared at.
No.
Don't stare. I knew that was going to happen. Both of you.
Really?
Stop it. I don't need this. But anyhow, epic-faced guy comes out, and Arya follows him back to the House of White and Black, where he thus produces her coin from the canal and said, "You dropped this," and then he reveals his face as Jaqen Hagar.
Yes.
Yes.
And invites her in. Opens the white door and invites her in.
Did he open the white door?
I thought you said Jaqen Hagar was not here. It's like, The man is not jacking the car.
A man is not jacking her car.
A man is no one.
A man is no one. A girl must learn to be no one.
Yes.
Which is awesome. So Arya's going to be no one.
Shit's going to happen.
Yeah.
Right.
It's happening. It's happening.
Speaking of shit happening, we got to see fucking Dorne for the first time. The Water Gardens.
That was
and we got to see Prince Doran Martell, the older brother of Oberyn. The once legendary Red Viper.
Who's in a wheelchair, apparently.
Yeah, he has. Nice wheelchair. He has illnesses. I don't know how it's going to be in the show. In the book, he has like the gout, basically.
Oh yeah.
So his legs are just painful and swollen. He can't really walk.
Right.
So he just has the wheelchair and just chills. But like as we saw here, he's a pretty smart guy. Like. He's not, unlike most of his other people, he's not prone to fits of passion.
Yeah.
Like, he's not, Oberyn's widowed mistress, I guess.
What was her name again?
Did they even say her name?
Yeah, they did.
They did, yeah.
Her name was like, blah, blah, blah.
I'm not sure what her name was.
But she storms in, past the bodyguard, and she's, like, demanding that she wants to send Marcella Baratheon back to Cersei in pieces.
Well, she said Lannister.
Yeah.
She is a Lannister.
Right.
Everyone knows.
Pretty much at this point.
Everybody in Dorne is hip to that.
Yeah.
Right.
But he has to basically tell her, I rule here, you're not going to do shit. We don't mutilate little girls in this land.
Right.
We're
he's
better
pretty
than
calm and level-headed about things.
But he's got that force. But it definitely sounds like there's trouble on the horizon because she did the old. He's like, I rule here. She's like, for now. And then sulked off, and the bodyguard gave that look. He started fingering his blade, and then Doran's like, "No,
don't kill her.
Don't kill her. I got enough fucking problems with the in-laws as it is."
Apparently, his daughters, what are they?
The Sand Snakes.
The
Red Vipers.
Oh yeah,
the Red Vipers are with her.
Them.
Yeah,
the Red Vipers' bastard daughters are the Sand Snakes. A group of fucking assassins, each with a different specialty. It's like Charlie's Angels kind of.
Right. And they're standing. They want war as well.
Yeah, absolutely. They want revenge.
Right.
So
now in the book, there's fucking 6 of them. You're only getting 3 in the show. So that makes it a little bit easier to keep track of them.
Right.
But it's ridiculous in the book. There's 6, and each of them has some sort of different way to fucking just murder people.
To murder faces.
Yeah, they're dangerous as hell. So I'm really excited when they finally start doing stuff. Because. Guess who's headed to Dorne?
Jamie. I was just going to bring that up.
Jamie and
Lannister and Bronn.
Which Bronn just cannot stop being the fucking sidekick to one of the Lannister kids.
I know, that's what I was thinking. Because, when he said, what do you want? And Jamie's all like, what do you mean? He's like, he's pretty much saying, there's no reason why you're going to come here other than to enlist my help.
I think he said, you don't come out here unless you want to ruin my life somehow.
Exactly. And Jamie offered a better wife than his bimbo wife.
In the bigger castle.
Which is the second oldest daughter of the Stokeworth, so he doesn't even get the fucking castle.
I liked that conversation, though, because he was pretty much trying to tell her that he was going to kill his little sister.
Yeah. In no uncertain terms, he was hinting that, well, maybe your sister won't live long enough to inherit the castle.
Bad things happen to mean people.
Pretty much.
When you're mean, it always comes around one way or another.
Right.
So, he's not really mean, though, but he's mean to other people.
Ron is a sellsword. He's neutral. He's chaotic neutral, kind of.
Right.
Okay, so bad things won't happen to Bronn, let's hope.
Well, I mean, if he will try to do bad things to him, he's usually ready for it, and he usually stops them.
True.
So, yeah, but it was fun seeing Bronn again. I was kind of wondering if we would see him again. If they were going to find a story for him. But I like what they're doing here, pairing up him and Jamie to go into Dorne to try to get Marcella out of there.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how they're going to do it.
Flipping her fucking shit as usual.
He's not taking her. They're not going by force. They're not going as an army. It's going to have to be.
It's a fucking infiltration. Yeah.
They're going to use subterfuge.
So are they going to try to be making peace with Dorne? Are they going to try to go in swords blazing, hoo-ha?
Swords of blazing. Light on fire.
Good thing the Hound isn't going to be there. So.
Yeah.
I think it'll be hard for them to stay incognito.
Yeah, I was going to say Jamie Lannister's the most recognizable dude in the kingdom.
Right. So I don't think they're probably
especially with his gold
trying to sneak in. Yeah, and
right.
So they're probably there's going to be political intrigue.
Old one-handed Jamie Lannister.
Mm-hmm.
Good old political
now,
intrigue.
my money's going to be on one of the sand snakes trying to seduce Jaime or Bronn.
Oh, I don't doubt that at all.
Bronn's probably, yes, definitely. Jaime, maybe.
Maybe.
Because I don't know how much more of the Cersei shit Jaime can put up with.
But
she blames him for everything that happens.
I know, she's so...
It's like everything that's ever gone wrong in the kingdom is Jaime Lannister's fault.
You weren't a father to our children, but I couldn't be a father to our children.
They would have gotten killed.
Exactly. But, look at how good that did you, because they're dead Shut up, Cersei.
Joffrey's dead. It's like, Joffrey's dead because he's a shit.
Right. That's what I was thinking. Like,
it's not Jaime's fault that Joffrey's dead.
Exactly.
It's like, well, you weren't a father to him. Well, neither was Robert, so what the fuck's your point?
Right.
Truth. He didn't really have a father figure. Maybe that's why he turned out to be such
a
little
cunt. The only mentor he had was Cersei. That's why he turned out to be such a piece of shit. Tommen is okay because he was left alone. They just let him play with his kitten all the time. So that's why he's well adjusted.
My little kitty fireball.
He's well adjusted because he didn't have Cersei like looming over him trying to manipulate his strings.
Yeah.
But now it's happening. And she cannot help herself but like start taking shots at Marjorie she said that shit, she said something about Marjorie, and Jaime looks at her like,
the little
the fuck are you talking about?
From Highgarden.
Yeah, and then Jaime looks at her like, you really need to get over this.
But then she's acting. Well, she's not the hand, but she's the acting hand.
She's sitting on the meetings, the council meetings.
Right.
The ones I guarantee you that Tommen doesn't even know are probably happening.
Probably not,
because she wants to manipulate the kingdom.
And then she's able to flatter pretty much everybody else into silence, except for her Uncle Kevin, who, once again, the people with the normal names in the show are the ones that are usually the most level-headed.
Right.
Like, Ned, you had Ned, you had Robert, you have Kevin. They seem to be the ones that are pretty normal. Jamie's kind of normal too. So Bran was pretty normal.
John's pretty normal.
But now he's talking to trees. So
right.
But
the Grand Meister, she just shut him up.
Of course,
they have to shut him
up. he has no choice. He hitched his cart to her wagon.
Right.
So he has no choice because when Tyrion was fucking with him, he ran off to Cersei crying about it.
Right.
So he's stuck with them. So he can't do shit about it, no matter how much he doesn't like Qyburn.
So pretty much he's their bitch.
Yeah, he's absolutely Cersei's bitch.
That's exactly what he is, yeah.
She was able to flatter, what's-his-face, Marjorie's father, Mr. Tyrell, by saying, oh, you're going to be the new Master of Coin because Tommen said that there's nobody better in the kingdom to do the job. And then he's like, of course. Twirling his mustache and, he's easy to be flattered because he's an idiot. But Kevin straight up says, if Tommen wants me to be his, Master of War, he can tell me himself to my face, I don't recognize your authority. I'm going back to Casterly Rock.
Mother, yeah, you're just the
I'm going back to your father's land.
You are not the hand of the king.
It's not Casterly Rock is now mine because Tywin's dead. So I'm going to go ahead and rule from there. If you want me, you'll know where to find me.
Later. It was like, fuck you, Cersei.
Yeah, exactly.
How does your punchline work when it's being said to you, Cersei?
Yeah. That should really be the new, Lannister crest. Instead of it saying, the heroes roar, instead of say, fuck you.
Lannisters are here to fuck you over.
Yeah, so Cersei is just still getting... I like the word,
She's trying to grasp to what power she can.
But I love the one line she had where, Kevin's like, you're not the hand. She's like, oh, I know, it'd be awful if a woman was the hand of the king. I was kind of like, nice. Although I don't like you, that was a good line. I don't want you to be a woman that's hand of the king, but excellent that you pointed that out.
Right.
But still, go away.
I'm not the hand of the king at all.
And the new Maester was appointed the new
Master of Whispers.
Job. Yeah, Master of Whispers.
So I guess they're assuming Varys is never coming back.
Right.
I thought he was gonna set Tyrion on his way and then try to get back, but I guess he's gone. He's done too. He's like,
right. They didn't really they've explained why he left as well.
Yeah, I don't know.
They didn't give an explanation to why.
Well, it's probably because Jaime knows that Varys he gave Tyrion to Varys, so I don't know if like that is like common knowledge or.
Right.
I kind of felt like he left after Tywin died because he knew the entire nation of Westeros was fucked and they were in need of a new ruler.
He's like, okay, Plan D.
So he was
Plan D,
go,
Daenerys.
Right, Plan D.
Let's go across the lakes there. Yeah. Something else. They're in a box currently on their way.
It was really just another one of those scenes where they kind of just like. It was like a bunch of exposition that was basically just metaphor for what's happening in their lives right now. Mm-hmm. That neither man likes being in a box, but that's what they're going to have to do for the time being.
Right.
Until they can actually walk freely again and do what they want to do. Yeah. So that was like a one scene with them. Again, it's always fun seeing those two actors together, though, because they're both so dry.
Right.
It's great. I love them.
They're like this most super sarcastic drawl people in the entire world. And they're just sitting in a fucking like tiny little room having forced to talk to each other all the time.
And Varys is upset with Tyrion's drinking, and Tyrion goes...
He's upset with not being able to walk.
Right.
I'm going to take a walk.
He goes, did I mislead you on what I was going to be doing on the roads and Marine?
But there was that great moment, that line where Tyrion's like, what, surely she's not going to kill every dwarf in the kingdom. And they smash cut to a fucking dwarf's decapitated head being given to Cersei.
Right.
That looked semi-similar to Tyrion's
what's
head.
funny, though, is you can tell, like, there was, like, a cut on his cheek that was done after it died.
Right.
Because there was no blood. So, because they knew he was disfigured, but they didn't know it was, like, across the fucking, brow.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you can tell they just fucking found a dwarf, killed it, and then tried to dress up the head to look like Tyrion. Right. And then, but she didn't want to throw him in jail for lying because she's like, I don't want to discourage the other hunters.
Right.
So she kind of just told them to fuck off and you're not getting anything. You murdered a dwarf, I don't really care. So that was a really funny little moment, the way they cut that together.
Right.
The world is one dwarf less.
Yes. Fucking Daenerys is not having a good time.
No, she's not.
Definitely not. She's struggling.
She's still struggling to rule, and
it's doing the right thing is usually means nobody's happy about it.
Right.
Yeah, you make a lot of enemies trying to do the right thing.
Yeah,
I was happy she took Sir Barristan's advice on a trial, and he explained to her how her father really was because he was there because she didn't know.
How he really lost the Seven Kingdoms.
Exactly. And I thought that was a good wake-up call for her because at first she was, all hell-bent on murder and justice.
You gotta keep in mind, like, she grew up with Viserys, who was always, like, going on about being a Targaryen and Blood of the Dragon.
He was one of the bad ones.
He was living in trying to live up to the image of their father.
Right.
And so she grew up around hearing it more as, like, not like hearing the reality, but hearing like the legend.
Right.
And so she thought that was what she should aspire to as a Targaryen. Like that's what Targaryens are.
Right.
So that's what I am.
Yeah.
But now she's learning that there's a different way to go about it. Like their older brother was not like that at all.
Yeah.
And one of the person that was on her council representing the former slaves killed a prisoner that she was going to put on trial. One of the sons of the Harpies that they had found. Right. That Dario found by stabbing him through a wall.
That was pretty fucking epic.
Dario was amazing.
Grey Worm was ready to leave, and Dario's like, I got this,
like,
bruh.
Are you afraid? And he's like, I'm never afraid. And it's like, that's the problem. If you don't know fear, you don't know hiding.
Right.
Stab him through the wall. It's like, that's awesome.
That was pretty awesome.
But the guy kills the prisoner. And so, the law being the law is what she said. It's not about what the masters did to you for all these years. It's about that everybody's equal now, so that means everybody has to live by the same laws.
Right.
And if you execute a prisoner that I am holding for trial, the punishment is death.
You could tell that decision was hard for her because he explained that he was the first person to rise up and her name and to try to defend her and make her queen or whatever. It's like a really tough decision. And you could tell like all of that going on her face while she's trying to make this decision.
It's one of those things. I think that she was right in having him executed. I don't think she was right in having him executed publicly.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And I think that was her.
I think she was trying
decision.
I think she was trying to show though to the masters as much as anyone else that look, I'm going to be fair to everybody. I'm not here to take sides in what happened here before.
mean, it's an important decision to make for everyone to see.
Yeah.
But...
And it also shows everybody the consequences of, like, look, this is the law now.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody's immune. Not even people that have sat in my chambers giving me counsel.
Right.
So,
I mean, I think it was... I don't think she made any bad decisions. Mm-hmm. I think she got put in a no-win situation by that guy acting out of turn like that.
Yeah.
If he actually cared about her like he said he did, he would never put her in a situation like that where she has to, either bend her own words, her own law, or publicly execute somebody like that, knowing that it's going to cause a riot.
Right.
Which it did. It was intense. They hissed at her, and then they started throwing rocks and hurting the masters. So.
Yeah, and she was pissed, and then Drogon came back.
That was a happy moment.
He swung by, he's like, "What's up, Mom?"
She was trying so hard to get down to her, but there wasn't enough space.
Yeah, well then when they're about to touch, he kind of withdrew and then flew off.
And he smelled her hand and then was just like, "All right, I'm out. I just wanted to just stop in and
things seem
shitty. Smell your hand.
Yeah. Things seem shitty here. Things seem shitty here. I'm gonna go off to Coachella with my friends.
I'm gonna go party with OTEP.
I gotta go. Alabama Shakes is on in 5 minutes.
But it's, I think it's...
I'm seeing Drogon now with, like, the fucking black rimmed glasses and, a curled mustache.
Like a black rimmed glasses like Kanye West done it?
No, like the hipster glasses, the thick rimmed black ones with no lenses. He's got a mustache that he waxes, and then he's wearing, like, a plaid shirt.
Hipsters still do that? They wear, the lenses. See, it's offensive to me. I wear glasses.
Yeah, but you need glasses.
I really do.
He had a pair.
I did. I had a pair.
Friar Dan had a pair.
I wore them for about 6 months.
Here, Danny, look and see how bad my prescription is.
You really...
I really need
Wow, you're blind.
No.
Do my eyes look giant through these?
I can't see your face.
So
wow,
yeah.
Just for the people that can't see us right now, Danny's 2 feet away from me.
Hipster Drogon took off, leaving Daenerys like, "My dragons! Nobody loves me."
Because right before Drogon, went up there, Todd was all like, "She needs her dragons," and then she turns around.
Right, it was like,
Drogon is there. It's like, "Oh my god, he's psychic."
I'm the dragon man. It's like I say it and then it just pops into the script.
It just happens.
Why aren't you writing the script?
So yeah, she needs a win here, basically. Right now she's getting pounded from all sides.
Yeah.
And not in the good way.
She needs to meet Tyrion.
Not in the fun way.
That's what needs to happen.
I think she needs to bring Jorah back on her small castle.
She needs to open the damn fighting pits. We talked about that. She needs to open the fighting pits because then it'll give people a distraction to not be throwing rocks at her.
Right.
But instead they'll assign them to get paid to fight each other to the death.
I thought that when Daria was talking to her about that she was going to change her mind, but apparently she has still not changed her mind on that subject. So.
She needs to, because it's like the old saying, actually the inspiration for Hunger Games being called Panem was like the Panem at Circus Day, bread and circuses. It's a way to distract the populace from really paying too much attention to what you're doing. Right. Because you kind of keep them fed and you keep them entertained.
Right.
Oh my gosh, is that why circuses were formed?
Well, they don't just need... they're referring to everything, like, the Coliseum, theater, circus, any kind of entertainment to keep, the opium for the masses, basically. Right. So, she needs to get some more opium for her masses.
I mean, if she could really do that, she would be in good business. Milk of the puppy.
Yeah, milk of the puppy
for everyone.
Everybody just sleeps off.
You're not in pain, and here's some milk of the puppy.
I didn't just kill that guy publicly.
The queen of the fucking addicts.
Queen of the opiates. That's who I'm for.
You also, what else happened in this episode?
Jon Snow! I'm sorry.
Look at that audio spike when you're pounding your feet.
I'm sorry, I was really excited, and they actually told me to calm down, during
when we were watching. It was like, shut up.
So, what was going on?
You were over there like squeaking and making noises. We're like, I can't hear what's being said on the show.
I'm sorry. I can't help it.
After I got lectured by her before started about talking during the show.
Ken Harrington holds a special spot in my heart. We're gonna get married.
Go see Pompeii. It'll change your mind.
I'm, anything he's in, I don't really care how good his acting is. He's just beautiful.
So,
and that hair.
Anyway, what happened that made Lady B lose her mind?
Well, I will tell you since it's about my favorite character.
Let you explain what happened at the wall.
Alright, so we come to the wall with Gilly and what's the Stannis' daughter? Shireen. I didn't know her name.
I think just Shireen, I think.
Shireen, yeah.
So, Shireen was teaching Gilly how to read.
And Sam was
all excited about some history thing about the Starks. Like, he's so precious.
And then she told him to shove, and he was just like,
Aww.
We learned part about Shireen's face and her deformity.
Grayscale, the disease. That when wildlings get it, because apparently it's a thing that happens everywhere.
Yeah.
When you change, you like become like
animalistic.
Yeah, it sounds like you go mad, like you become like rabid, and then you're also like it's like your skin becomes like hard and like scaly. So it's like, is that how Killer Croc was formed?
Yeah, probably.
I wonder if that was a disease before dragons came. I wonder if it's a dragon-related disease.
Could be. Yeah,
it's possible.
It's something. It's like how we got the Black Death from fleas from
rats.
No, it wasn't rats. They actually exonerated them.
Fleas that were transported on rats. So the rats just brought them to us.
Apparently, I read this recently. It wasn't just rats; it was more hamsters. Apparently,
yes,
interesting.
Yes.
The rats were getting all the blame, but they actually don't have fleas as bad as the hamsters do.
Mm-hmm.
So
I read that article too.
So yeah, fucking hamsters gave us the Black Death, and dragons gave us the grayscale.
Possibly.
Thank you, hamsters.
Dragon. Can you imagine the fucking size of a flea that would actually be able to get into a dragon and stick to it and get through and drink its blood?
It'd be like the parasites from.
It'd probably be the size of a fucking cat. It's a flea the size of a house cat just cruising along.
I just had a really random thought about hamsters, and if you owned one as a pet and you got the Black Death. What if it like resprouted and you're like, cute little hamster, and then it gives you Black Death and you die?
The anti-vaxxer movement, it could fucking happen now.
Yeah.
Yes,
because that's a different topic.
Yeah, so back to the wall.
Let's not get into. Okay, so we're at the wall. Pretty much Shireen's mom like storms in and she's all like, meh, you shouldn't talk to wildlings, and wildlings are all bad
exactly
people.
what she said was meh.
She's just.
That's what I heard.
She's just such a cunt. Like really, and she's not trusting of anyone else. She's just a really big bitch, and she just I just don't like her.
Yeah.
I don't trust anything she has to say. So then we go to Master Aemon is back, and I got excited because I thought he died.
There's one more scene though.
Oh right, is there?
With Stannis and Jon, remember?
Oh yeah.
Stannis straight up tells him, if you leave the Night's Watch, I will make you Jon Stark, and you will be the Lord of Winterfell, and you will be the King of the North.
And that's when I eat, because it made my heart happy.
But then, of course, Jon being the stubborn, noble bastard, literally, that he is.
He's a brother of the Night's Watch.
He's like, if I swore this vow, if I go back my words, then what good is my word as a lord? Blah.
But it makes sense. Nice Cthulhu imitation there. But
Cthulhu does like a bowl of raspberry.
Sense. All the Starks are the same in their stubbornness and etc.
Sansa was stubborn as shit earlier too.
Right, I was gonna bring that up also.
But we'll get to her.
Right.
So anyway, like you were saying, Master Aemon is alive.
Master Aemon is alive. I thought he died, which makes me happy because he's not. He's also one of my favorite characters, and
he's also a Targaryen.
He also is a I like the Targaryens and the Starks. Anyhow, so they were voting for who's going to be the next Lord Commander of the Night's Watch.
Yeah. And Alistair Thorne, Senor Cuntface. He was
nominated.
It's not even like that. He's like permanent, like sour lemon face.
He does. She does. He turned into a woman. Sorry, but yeah, he really does. But he has like a smirking lemon face, like when you try to smile when you eat lemons and your jaw hurts. Like I don't know if that happens to anyone else.
He just looks like a pain in the ass.
He is a pain in the ass. And of course, Sir Janos Flint nominated him.
The cowardly egg himself.
Yeah. He does look like an egg.
Yeah, his head looks like an egg, his body looks like it's like eggs on top of eggs.
You know, maybe he's Humpty Dumpty.
Or he's like a humble doll.
Yeah, I can see the humble doll thing. That makes perfect sense.
But yeah, he gives a speech that it's not bullshit. You know, Alistair's been a good member of the Night's Watch. He's a prickly asshole, but as far as his actual service and commitment,
devotion.
He's actually he's a good candidate, but he's just good at being a Night's Watchman.
Right.
Yeah.
But I don't know if he's a good leader of men.
And then
he tends to look down on and shit on people quite a bit.
Yeah, and he's not very equal. Like, you could just see it from, in the first season when we were watching John train. He just picked at certain people because of, who they are and, what they were before. And he's not very fair,
I think it seemed like his style was that he wanted to make sure that nobody had any pride. So he would he'd try to break them every way he could.
Right.
To make them into, nothing and rebuild them up as a loyal member of the Watch. But, not realizing that if you try to get rid of everybody's individual, traits or whatever, you're not going to have a very effective fighting force.
Precisely.
So that was kind of his style, it seemed like, is he wanted to kind of make everybody a clean slate for him to work on.
Like the dudes that were bought, what are they? Unsullied.
The Unsullied, yeah.
He wanted to make the Night's Watchmen unsullied.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, you can't do that when they're that old.
Yeah, that's an excellent connection there.
You're welcome.
And then, so the other nominee was the guy who had been the commander of the Shadow Tower, one of the only other operating base on the wall besides Castle Black, and the one that's on the shore. There's one on the shore, right on the ocean. Mm-hmm. So there's 3 operating bases because they have so few Night's Watchmen.
And before they were going to take the votes, Master Aemon was talking about, doing the voting, blah, blah, blah. And then Sam just couldn't hold it back anymore. And he nominated Lord Snow. And I squeed.
Yeah. So before he nominated him, he also took a shit all over Janos Slint.
That's true.
Yeah.
He was hiding with the women and children in the larder.
Why Slint was hiding with the woman and a baby.
Yeah.
And I found him in a puddle of his own making.
Janos was trying to be like, lies, but he said, no, I found him after the battle was over and he was in a puddle of his own making.
Yes.
Just all way to fucking go, Sam.
And he says, everything they said about Alistair is true. He did, lead us in that battle very well. But when he went down with an injury, Jon took over, and he's the one that ended up, saving the day.
Right.
He's the one that defeated the leader of the Thren.
And he was talking about how he was the only one to go try to make peace with Mance Rayder, knowing that he may die, and he put his life on the line for the Night's Watch. And talking about how good of a leader he was. And I was just like, yes. So they all voted. And there was a tie. And then Master Aemon had to, he had to still put in his vote. He voted for Jon Snow. And now Jon Snow is Lord Commander.
Yeah. The 998th Lord Commander of the Night's Watch.
Dude, that's a really fun... I'm the 998th Lord Commander of the Night's Watch.
I wonder what the average lifespan of a Lord Commander is, because I don't know, I can't remember how long the wall's been around. I think something like 5,000 years. But having 998 in 5,000 years averages out to a little over 5 years per person.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So it's like, thanks for nominating me, Sam.
So I wonder how long Lord Mormont was.
He was there for a while.
Lord Commander.
It was actually quite a while because they had such a long summer that they weren't having to worry about any real wildling incursions, and there wasn't anything going on. I don't remember the exact time, but he had been Lord Commander for quite a while. Like, he was Lord Commander when the Targaryens were still on the throne.
Okay.
So
for a long time.
Yeah, he had been there for quite a while.
Okay.
So
over 12 years.
Yeah. He was, because he had probably one of the most peaceful times to be a Lord Commander. There wasn't really a lot of threat.
Right.
And then right around the time the show starts is when shit starts kind of hitting the fan again.
And shit's getting real.
Well, because winter is coming.
Yes.
Obviously.
I don't know if you guys saw that.
If you've been anywhere on the internet, you might have seen that.
That Jon Snow dinner guest thing, he kept saying winter's coming.
Yeah.
That was really fun. Anyhow, we don't talk about that.
So, speaking of stubborn Starks, we got to see Brienne found Sansa. Last episode, we were like, she's right there.
She's right there.
When
she's in the carriage and their little party's going by.
Brienne and Pod sit down to eat at this inn, and
Pod finds a lady that he'd like to fuck with his magnificent skills. I'm sorry.
Magnificent.
He wanted to give her the pod.
He wanted to get into a magnificent. Oh.
Yeah! Dude. Alright, Mandark. I need you to calm down.
Alright. You don't want to laugh at your own jokes that much.
I do.
I laugh at mine too. Because I'm hilarious sometimes.
But while he's checking out Dad Ass, he notices a couple familiar faces in a booth.
Peter Baelish's.
Yeah.
Fucking little
and
finger.
I like the fact that it wasn't like, who's that? It's like, he knew immediately it was Sansa because he was Tyrion's squire. Right. And Tyrion was married to Sansa. Right. So he saw her all the fucking time.
Right.
So he could recognize her even in, like, profile.
Instantly,
It's like, thank you for not making him stupid. It's like, my lady, Sansa Stark is here. And then she's like, what?
And she's like, where?
Ready the horses.
Yeah.
There's only one, milady.
Get another.
He's like, don't do it. There's at least 10 knights.
Yeah.
Too many.
So there were 10 knights. Brienne stands up, tries to go over to Peter Baelish.
Fuck, she is tall. Like, you forget sometimes how tall she is.
She is, yeah.
She is just, like, looming up over every single person there. And, Peter Baelish stands up, and he's, like, having to look straight up to talk to her.
Right.
He's short anyway.
I know, but it's one of those things.
Sansa's taller than he is.
I know, but you just forget. You forget, like, it was like when you watch the movie Avatar, when they spend a lot of time with them, and then when they actually start fighting the humans again,
you're like,
whoa,
I
that's
forgot
right.
how big they were.
They're huge. But Sansa sends Brienne away. Brienne, like, tells her the whole thing, I swore to your mother before she died I would protect you. I want to be your sworn sword. Like, she isn't trying to make Sansa leave Lord Baelish. She's like, I want to be your bodyguard, your personal bodyguard. And Sansa's like, nah, fuck off. I don't trust anybody anymore. It's like, I saw you in King's Landing bowing to the king. Fuck off.
Which I don't think that was very smart on Sansa's part. She didn't know the entire story. You know, honestly, like, Brienne could have told her she was saying hi to Lady Marjorie because that was her queen when Renly was, when Renly was her
But Brienne did say,
like,
neither of us wanted to be there.
Right. And, I think that was very ignorant on Sansa's part, and she just needs to get away from Peter. Like, he pretty much put that seed in her head, just like, you can't trust her.
Right.
Well, and she's going to listen to anything that he says because he hasn't done her wrong so far.
So far he's the only person that's stuck his neck out for her since she got to King's Landing, since her father died.
Killed Joffrey.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, really, I don't blame her. It's like for being mistrusting, but I don't think it's going to be the end of that story. I think there's obviously, because Brienne said they will follow them.
Right, they're following them. So
this is just the first, kind of opening salvo.
By the way, Brienne's sword is really fucking awesome.
Yeah,
it broke another human being's sword.
It's made out of dragon steel,
and then she's cut his
Valyrian steel. Yeah, there you go.
Fighting scenes are so awesome.
Yeah, so the guy goes to block her sword. His sword shatters, and then it goes into his fucking collarbone. Mm-hmm. It's like, oh shit!
It was pretty awesome.
Critical failure.
Then Pod can't ride a horse.
No, he couldn't ride his horse. He could not.
Pod can't tame his horse. Pod is just a failure.
Well, let's be clear. Pod can tame his horse. He just couldn't ride that horse.
I mean, we have to be specific, I guess, on what kind of horse
we're talking.
I'm sorry for being vague on what kind of horse I was referring to. We're all on the same page.
We're talking about horses, not steeds.
No, that's what it is. Horses, not steeds.
Or stallions.
God. Guys are so weird.
But yeah, so now they're on the road after Peter and Sansa, so we'll see where that goes, because I don't think that even happened in the book, did it?
No, it absolutely did not.
So this isn't everything
in the books. Brienne never, ever, at least so far, runs into Sansa. She runs into other people, but I'm not going to spoil that.
Right.
But it's a huge, massive departure, and it's one of those things I don't know if they're going to bring it back or not. Like, there was something in the book that's super significant at the end of the third book that happens to Brienne that hasn't happened. I don't know if it's going to happen at all.
Right.
So,
well, we talked about this off of the Spoilercast. They did say they were changing a lot of stuff.
Oh yeah,
from the books in the show.
And this whole episode, a vast majority of it was different. The stuff with at the wall was the same. The stuff down in Dorne was the same. That's
pretty much it.
The stuff in Marine kind of the same, sort of.
Did Braavos happen?
Yes, Braavos happened.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I mean, they're definitely really starting to push a lot of their stories in different directions, especially with some of the characters. Like Sansa's story is going in a whole new direction.
Right.
And I'm really interested to see what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's about everything that happened in this episode.
This was a big episode. They pretty much got everybody in. Except for Theon, but he's going to be back next week.
Yep, in the preview, he's
the Boltons and Theon.
Bran.
We're not going to see him this season.
I'd rather.
We're not seeing him the entirety of this season.
Yep. I would rather. And I think that's a good idea because I'd rather him. Okay, well, we know where he's at and we know what he's doing.
Yeah.
Let him go and do it. And when he comes back, let him be a badass. You know what I'm saying?
The actor who plays Hodor confirmed that he wasn't filming this season.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
DJ Hodor.
Hodor. Yeah. That's really hard to say fast.
Hodor.
I also have a problem with R's.
I want to say Hodor.
Alright. So that wraps up for the Spoilercast. Next week, we will be back again for the third episode.
Hell yes.
We have 100% more Boltons and Theon than this week did.
Well, I hate Boltons.
Yeah, so that's we'll have a good hate going on for that.
Oh, I hated when... I liked when we forgot to bring up Lady Mormont and how she said Stannis is trying to get her to sign on to a king, and she goes, I know no king other than the Starks, and he smiled, and Stannis was like, is that funny to you? And he goes, Northerners are really loyal to them.
Northerners are basically like the free folk.
Yes.
But I think I just hate it because of Bolton and how he wasn't loyal, and fuck Bruce Bolton.
Fuck the Freys, fuck the Boltons. They're gonna get what's coming to them.
I hope so.
And you know who's gonna do it, right?
Sansa.
No, fucking Stannis.
Oh damn.
Yeah.
Do you think Stannis is gonna sit there and let that shit stand?
No.
He wasn't Ned's best friend, but he sure as hell is not gonna let that shit stand.
Right.
I wonder how promises made by kings goes down when it's like a king fighting to be a king.
Yeah. Well, if you call yourself a king and you got enough people following you, your word becomes law. That's kind of the thing. It's like, maybe there's two kings, but whatever, if the people follow you, whatever you say is law for them. They don't give a fuck.
Trough.
So, anyway,
sorry.
Thank you for listening to us this week. As always, you can find all of our stuff at our website, podcastofdoom.com. You can subscribe to us on iTunes and Stitcher, review us, rate us, share us with your friends.
Go follow us on the Twitch and the YouTubes. You're probably watching this on YouTubes.
The Twitch.
Not Twitch.
Twitter and Facebook.
Twitter and Facebook.
The Twitch.
I said Twitch because I think I'm going to start Twitch casting soon, but that's beside the point.
Whenever someone says Twitch, I think of the song. Twitch. What was that in?
I don't know.
Okay, sorry.
I don't know either. I'm not hip to the kids, the groove of the kids these days.
It's like an old movie.
I don't know. Anyway, thank you very much for listening. We appreciate it, guys. We'll be back again next week with episode 3. Does it have a name yet? Do we know the name of episode 3?
The name of episode 3 is... High Sparrow.
High Sparrow.
Oh,
this is the
Sparrows.
Tale of Captain High Sparrow. Sorry, it was necessary.
It was necessary. I will give you that. Thanks for listening, guys. We do appreciate it. Yep. Once again, I'm Friar Dan.
I'm that guy Todd.
And I'm Lady B.
And remember, you listen or you die.
For real, Arya will kill you.